So Unencumbered, the name actually came before the business idea, funny enough, but it all works together. But I was journaling one morning in front of the fire and just thinking about my why and what it is I want to accomplish. I'm midlife. Like you want to make it
Yeah,
count, right? And
right.
really towards your why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And I want to live a life that's unencumbered. Unencumbered by physical restraints. So I want to live the healthiest
Mm,
life I can live, financial restraints. I want to be audaciously generous in my life, and I don't want money to be like a deterrent from giving or doing or having or being, what I want to do and give and have and be in my life. And so
mm,
it became sort of this like mantra, like unencumbered. That's my goal, just to live this
wow.
unencumbered life. So I came up with the brand name before I came up with the business.
That is an excerpt from a wonderful conversation that you're going to hear today in this podcast episode with Brooke Moll, who is a marketing expert, a brand ambassador, and the owner of her own business today. You're going to hear her story and her journey to becoming an entrepreneur midlife. After building her career as a marketing executive at some of the world's most prestigious advertising agencies, Brooke made a very bold decision to step forward and to step away from the corporate world following the birth of her third child in under 3 years. She traded her briefcase for a diaper bag. And then, following more than a decade dedicating to raising her family, Brooke discovered a very unexpected path back to the professional world. Today, she serves as CEO of Unencumbered and a brand ambassador for Burnout to All Out, where she empowers business owners and entrepreneurs to build powerful brands and to generate meaningful business growth through strategic LinkedIn marketing. So you are going to be inspired because here at the Redlo Women Podcast, we empower women to reclaim their confidence, embrace their voice, define their path, lead with courage, and own who they are in this season of life. And Brooke does exactly that. So grab that warm cup of coffee or step into your tenacious tennis shoes and let's step forward together. Listen in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Redlo Woman Podcast. I am so excited about my guest today. Brooke Moll is joining us. I actually met Brooke through another program that my husband and I are involved in. She's extremely instrumental in this program. It's an incredible community, and Brooke is a part of that and the leadership on that. And you're going to hear her story and who she is and what she does to guide all of us forward with our businesses. And I'm so excited that she's going to share her wisdom and insight here today. So thank you, Brooke. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Oh my goodness, Terry, thank you for having me. You and I, as you said, met in this program, and I just felt like a kindred spirit from the first time we had a Zoom call together. Our stories are very similar, and I'm just thrilled to be here. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I know you're going to bless a lot of women here today. So I know you as like a brand ambassador and coach, but I also know that you've got an amazing story to how you arrived where you are now. So share a little bit about who you are, kind of personally and professionally, and what got you to this place where you are now. And we'll dive in with lots of fun questions, but share a little bit about your background and who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a Chicago girl, born and bred. And now, over the past couple years, we have become snowbirds and part time Floridians. So that's sort of new to our story. But I'm a wife of an amazing man. We will celebrate our 29th anniversary next month. So we've been together a
Wow.
long time. Yeah. I got married
Congrats.
young. So
That's awesome.
yeah. And together we have three young adult children who are partially launched. One is working on his PhD. He's just starting now. He's down in Arizona. And one is finishing up her teaching degree and she lives in Florida. And then our youngest is going into his third year at Indiana University. So they're all spread apart around the country and partially launched. They still come home, for
Yeah.
summers and all the good things. But yeah, so professionally, I have a couple different lanes. As you mentioned, I'm a brand ambassador and the program that you and I met in. And we're a business coaching company. We're online education that equips entrepreneurs to grow their businesses online through mentorship, support, frameworks, and helping them launch and grow businesses. And then separately, I have my own virtual marketing agency called Unencumbered, and
Okay.
I offer done for you marketing services for small businesses and entrepreneurs. So they're very complementary, the two businesses. For the
Yeah.
company that I own, I am a done for you. I do all the work for you on your behalf. And then the business that I work in is more of a teach you how to do it yourself kind of a company and support you along the way. So similar products, but just different approach.
I love that. I don't even think I actually really thought about that because you've helped me a lot. And so I didn't even think about that. That one is, you do it yourself and the other you're doing it for the entrepreneur that needs that support. So that's awesome. We're going to get into some of the business stuff, but like me, you reinvented yourself, right? You worked, then you stayed home, and then you went back into a new career. So let's kind of go back a little bit and share kind of how you got to where you are, how that reinvention story kind of happened, because, and how you've landed where you are now, because you're amazing at what you do. You really are. And yeah, so share a little bit about that because and this audience too wants to hear these stories. How do we do this? How do we step forward? How do we reinvent ourselves midlife?
Yeah, yeah. So my early career was sort of fast and furious. I guess it's a kind of a classic being in the right place at the right time story where I in the mid 90s ended up one of my very first jobs out of college was working in the digital department of a big ad agency. And so we were the redheaded stepchildren of the agency because nobody knew what this digital thing was. I mean, we were literally dialing into CompuServe at the time. Remember the
Wow.
tone that you heard when you dialed in? And
Yeah.
AOL was big, and
Yeah.
we were figuring out this new sort of frontier of marketing on the internet. So I was lucky in that I was just sort of thrown into this group to figure it out. And if you had any level of experience, you were sought after by other companies who were like, wait a minute, this is going to be big. We need you to come and work for us. So my career took off really quickly, but it was
Mm.
short. Within like maybe a 5-year window, I went from making nothing to great like lots of promotions and good income and all the things. And then around the early 2000s, the internet bubble sort of burst, and the
Ah.
company that I was working for was divesting and laying people off. But it was fortuitous for me because I was really ready to start having a family at that time.
Mm.
So I went into my boss's office and I said, "Hey, if you're doing layoffs and I'm in." And
Ow.
so I sort of parlayed that into a package, where I got a few months of pay and got to just stop working. So it was actually, again, luck, like the right
Yeah.
timing around that. And so anyway, we started our family. I had 3 kids in under 3 years, and during that time, because the first 2 are twins, so
Oh, I
during
didn't know that.
yeah, yeah.
Ah, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, twins, and then 2.5 years later, along comes another baby. So it was, again, like, intense, fast and furious, and I tried to be a stay-at-home working mom.
Mhm.
So I had 2 best friends still to this day, and we launched our own digital marketing agency
Oh,
and
wow.
tried to kind of have it all, right? Like, be at home with our kids, work at home, and then also be these professional women.
Yeah.
And for me, I was horrible at juggling the demands of all of it, right? Like, I felt
Yeah.
like somebody was always getting the shaft. Like, I'm gonna put my kids in front of Barney so I can go take a call, right?
I'm laughing, Barney.
Remember? Yeah, so anyway, it wasn't working out. I wasn't showing up at 100% for anybody.
Mhm.
So my partners and I decided to just like dissolve the business, and chose to stay home with the kids, which was great. And I could do
Yeah.
the mom, thing and be in the parties and go on the field trips and do everything that I wanted to do. And I did that for about a decade. But then, as they got older, I was really missing that piece, right? That
Mm.
piece of me that just got so much fulfillment from just being creative, using my brain in different ways,
Yep.
having an income, all the things. And
Right.
so, yeah, there got to a point where I was ready to start thinking about going back to work.
Yeah. So kinda share a little bit about that, what that was like, and what advice you would give a midlife woman who's going back to work. She's been home, or maybe she's in a career that in this role that she's not happy with. It's kind of cool. I mean, our lives are so parallel. We had 4 kids in 3 years, right? No, 3 kids in 3 years, and then we had Matthew much later. But anyway, but then going back to work too, and just that rediscovery journey. And before we even started recording, we were talking a little bit about this. Kind of share your business and what you're doing right now. Share a little bit about how that felt, like going back in that self discovery as you were like, okay, it's been 10 years. Now what? Who am
Yeah.
I?
It was super humbling, I'll tell you that, because I thought my view of myself as a professional was that I was like, I was gonna be in high demand. So I put together my resume and my LinkedIn and all the things and started kind of putting feelers out there, and it was nobody wanted to hire me. I was in my 40s, I had been off for a decade.
Right.
Talk about an industry that had completely changed from the time I left to where it was when I was trying to get back into it. It was completely different. I mean, social media didn't even exist when I left
Right.
marketing, and now I'm trying to step
Yeah.
back into a field where it was completely different and had changed. So I wasn't getting any calls back on my resume, and I just was a little bit I don't know, just feeling a little down and deflated on myself because I knew I didn't wanna start over, and
Yeah.
I also knew that I had something to offer, but I didn't know where that would go. So, I sort of stumbled across an opportunity to join a startup e-commerce business, and it was a wine company that offers they still are around, they offer organic, no additive, no sugar added, sort of healthier, cleaner wine, and it's a multi-level marketing company.
Mm,
So, I went to a wine tasting of a friend of mine who had gotten involved in the business, and I was, like, sitting there in the wine tasting going, "Gosh, I wonder I could do this." Like, I love wine, I'm all
yeah.
about healthy lifestyle and finding healthier swaps, and I wonder if this is something I can do. But, of course, those, gremlins in your head,
Yeah.
are kind of firing and saying, "Well, you've never sold a thing in your life. Like, how could you sell
Oh,
anything?" And, well, it's an MLM. Your friends are gonna think that's just weird, they're gonna start running away from you when they see you in the grocery store. To, like, try to reach them. And so, I had to really just sort of face those fears head on because it just seemed like something I could give a shot to.
mm,
So I joined the company and it was, again, I had never sold a thing in my life. So it was major discomfort, right? Like really stepping out of my comfort zone. But in my first year, and I'm not saying this to be braggy because that's not my heart, but I walked to the stage and got an award for a top 10 salesperson and
that's
earned the incentive
awesome.
trips and built a big team. And it was because I took a chance on something
Yeah.
and I didn't let fear hold me back.
Mm,
So I would give that would be my advice to the midlife women listening, whether you've been home like you and I were for a long time and you're trying to figure out what's next, or maybe you're in a career that you're just really unhappy with. You have to try something new and don't think you have to marry that thing, right? So what trying does is it's either allows you to step into something new and kind of see where it takes you, or it's feedback. It's not
right.
failure. Like if I had hated that business and left within the first year, that's not failure. It's just, hey, that wasn't for you, but what did you
Right.
learn and what did you take away and how can you take that to the next thing? So that's something that I had to work through myself, but I'm
Yeah.
so grateful I did because that wine business built
Yeah.
confidence in me.
Yep.
Um, it taught me the things that I had needed to learn with about social media marketing and the
Yeah.
new e-commerce and the new way of doing digital marketing. It introduced me to my business coach. I ended up hiring a business coach, and
Awesome.
that business coach helped me see things in myself that I didn't see in myself. And now I started a business, and again I'm a brand ambassador for this other company, and all of these things were a result of me taking a chance on myself and trying something that I really had no experience with. but I was willing to, like, kinda step through the fear and through the discomfort in order to try something new.
I love this so much. This is just gold. Because I think about as we're kind of reinventing ourselves, like we were talking earlier, so many of us we're afraid, right? We get stuck in that fear of even trying it. But you never know, just like you did, like leaning in, just saying yes, trying this wine business, letting go of whatever other people might think, and then what that led to next. Like that was kind of a stepping stone to what was next. And all it kind of bubbled up these things that were within you. I'm not surprised at all that you walked across the stage. Like, you're
Mm,
just so warm, and we always think of sales as, like, this big scary thing, but it's just connection. It's providing customer service, it's showing up and, and being real, being authentic, right? And that's so much who you are. So it's just fun to hear that story that how you went from that to where you are now, you know? I
thank
love it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
it's
empowering. It's really wonderful. So I think really, just telling women like it's just try all the things. I say try on all the shoes. It's, my book, I say step forward, but try on all the shoes. Which one fits? If it works, great. If it doesn't, that's, no big deal. So that's
yeah.
awesome. So did that launch into where you are now?
Yeah, it did. So, let's see, I'm trying to, like, kinda timeline it a little bit, but I was fully doing the wine business when I hired my coach, and I went through all her programs, which is actually the program that you and I met in, right?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so through that, she offered me the ability to come coach inside her program because I had gone through all the programs, and I thought, "Oh, that's kinda cool." So I started coaching for her very, very part-time, a couple maybe once a week, just very part-time, and then that led to her asking me to be a part of her customer service and support team, so that kinda transitioned into that, and then my own business that I do on this side was sort of based upon a need that I saw in the marketplace. Or we were teaching a lot of students how to do digital marketing for themselves, but there were a group of people who were like, I just want somebody to do this for me. And
Yeah.
I thought, well, I can do that. I know how to build a personal brand on LinkedIn. I know how to build a personal brand online. I know what all the things are, and I'm doing it for myself. So certainly I can do this for others. So that's how my business, my personal business came about. And, so yeah, it was one thing leading to the next, and it's a journey, right? And
Yeah.
I don't think I'm done yet. I just know that there's more out there, right? If you're
Yeah.
open. I think being
Yeah.
open to possibilities and being open
Mm,
to, trying things as you just mentioned, and if you don't love it, it's okay, right? Like,
yeah.
step away and try something new. You'll learn something along the way.
Yeah, and we kinda gather everything we learn, everything we try and do, we just kinda pick up and take it with us to
Yes.
that next step. So
Yeah.
so that leads me to what you are doing right now, and I love it that you are a done for you because entrepreneurs that are showing up in fact, Scott and I were just talking yesterday how the busy entrepreneur, the CEO, the people that are leading these businesses don't have time to do it. They need to bring other people along beside them to help them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When we're first starting out, we're kind of down here trying to do it all ourselves, and then we kind of get to that point where like, oh crap, I can't do this myself. I need other people to come along and help me get to where I want to go faster, right? So I love it that you offer white glove service, and I love that. It makes me just take a deep breath so share a little bit about your business because it's called Unencumbered, which I just love. I think that's amazing. Kind of share what you do and how you arrived at the name Unencumbered and what that means to you because I think it's such a super cool name. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah. So unencumbered, the name actually came before the business idea, funny enough, but it all works together. But I was journaling one morning in front of the fire and just thinking about my why and what it is I want to accomplish. I'm midlife, we don't have that many more years. That sounded
Yeah.
dreary. That sounded gruesome. But you know what I mean? Like you want to make it
Yeah.
count, right? And
Right.
really working towards your why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And in my journaling, the word unencumbered came up that I want to live a life that's unencumbered. Unencumbered by physical restraints. So I want to live the healthiest
Mm,
life I can live, financial restraints. I want to be audaciously generous in my life and I don't want money to be like a deterrent from giving or doing or having or being. what I want to do and give and have and be in my life. And so
Mm,
it became sort of this like mantra, like unencumbered. That's my goal, just to live this
wow.
unencumbered life. So I came up with the brand name before I came up with the business.
I
um,
love it.
but what I do in my business, my done for you service, is that I help entrepreneurs unencumber themselves from the marketing burden, right? So,
Mm,
like you said, in the beginning you have to just kind of put pen to paper, you have to be your own marketing department, but there comes to a point where it's just not your zone of genius,
right.
and getting that support and that help can help like allow you to focus on the things that you're really good at, and I can take that off your plate and sort of unburden you from those roles and responsibilities from your marketing. So that's what I do. I help people show up as a brand on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is
Mm,
my jam, but I
yeah.
do Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram as well. I have a partner who helps me with that.
Okay.
But I help you build a personal brand to generate awareness of who you are and to become a person of influence. That's what I've learned from our other program, is to be a person of influence on the internet. And I can help take that burden off of the plate of an entrepreneur and help them focus on what they do best.
I love that because I think it's so hard. And just like we were even talking before, it's hard for us to talk about ourselves, right? It really is. And marketing is such a big part of all that we do. The algorithms are constantly changing. It's like
Mhm.
I get exhausted just trying to keep up and can I keep up and do I want to keep up? There are days where I feel like, "Ugh, screw this. I don't even want to be online. Like I'd rather just sit here and talk on my podcast."
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, share if you want to kind of some of the things you offer for someone like me that's I'm tired. Like it's hard. Like we all it's hard for us, what to do this, like what's landing, what's not landing, and then not be afraid to try things and pay attention to the results. I think so often we lean into what we think people want versus what they really want.
Mhm.
Um, so just a couple things that you offer because I think it's super important, Brooke. I think we all get to this place, we start out like I said, we all want to do it ourselves, and then all of a sudden we realize you got to let go sometimes and let somebody else that's really good at what they do hand them the reins and like help,
Yep.
ask for help. Raise your hand. I need help. I can't do this. I can't do all the things. So share a little bit about that because even for someone like me, like it's kind of where I am right now. Like help, right? I can show up and be authentic, but the marketing part sometimes it's hard. It's
It's a
really hard.
grind, right? It's
Yeah.
a grind. I get it. Yeah, so I help um entrepreneurs build a personal brand online. So help you with your fonts, your colors, your photography, like just how you show up, your tagline, what is your, like, I call it your Nike just do it. What's your Nike just do it? What's your value proposition? And then
Mm,
I help you optimize your profiles, whether it's your LinkedIn profile or your Instagram profile, your Facebook page, so that you're presenting yourself with your best foot forward. And that when people come to you, they're like, I get what she does and I want what she has. Right.
mm.
And then I also write your content. So,
Oh, wow.
right? So I put together your content calendar for the month and we agree on a cadence. How often do you want to be posting? What is your proposition? Who's your ideal client? What do you want to say? And I write and post on your behalf. And then I do a little bit of algorithm jiggering where I go in and help comment and grow your network and attract the right people to you so that you have more leads and sales in your business. So it's really a
Wow.
full service agency focusing on helping you build a personal brand and grow your business online.
Wow. That's amazing. I love that so much. So with, you know, when we're doing this, I mean, all these different platforms are just so different, right? So I've shared just pretty openly, like LinkedIn intimidates me. I could sit here and talk all day long on a podcast. I can find show up on, I didn't even used to love Facebook, but, LinkedIn, is hard. Like, I feel like when you're talking about the resume, I remember when I went back to work and writing a resume, I was like, resume, like, who am I? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
CEO of my home. Like,
Right.
and turns out, interestingly enough, I went back to work at Nordstrom. This is where I where I kinda started, and then I went on to get my real estate license, all these things, but it was so interesting when I got hired, I thought it was gonna be because my background, like, my entrepreneurial background and helping, my mom with her businesses in a salon and all these anyway, I got hired because I had run a half marathon. It just, like, stuck out because it showed that I was competitive, and I started something and I was like, "Wait, what?" You never know, but on LinkedIn, it feels intimidating, right? Because to me, I always think of, like, someone like Scott with a college degree. I don't have a college degree, and even though I've grown up in an entrepreneurial family anyway, how do you encourage people to just show up on these different platforms? I mean, that's kind of a random question that wasn't even something I was gonna ask, but it just kinda feels right.
Yeah, it's about being authentic because
Mm,
that is what attracts people to you or repels them from you. And it's okay to be repellent. Let's say you are a devout Christian, as I am. If I
yeah,
talk about Christianity, it's going to attract people who are Christians and it's going to potentially repel others. And that's okay because maybe we're not a good fit to work together for one
right.
reason or another, right? I tend to be a little bit more neutral online, but Melissa, who, is the owner of the business that I support, she has a very strong personality and she swears and she'll like throw the F-bomb out. And she says, she's like, you're either gonna love me or you're gonna
Right.
hate. And that's okay because if I sell you into one of my programs and I'm using the F bomb and you're repelled by that. You just spent a lot of money to be a part of a community that you don't feel comfortable in. That's not alignment. So, to answer your question, you have to show up authentically as your authentic person and as your authentic brand, and the right people will be attracted to you, and the people who aren't going to be a good fit for you and who probably you don't want to get into a business relationship with are going to go the other direction, and that's good,
Right.
and that's what we want, right?
Right.
You want to be in alignment with the people that you work with.
That's so good. I think so often when we start out, we think that we have to attract everybody. So that's so good. And I
That's
love
true,
that.
we do.
And I love it that Melissa swears. I know why. And it's great. That's just a great analogy. Um, what other advice do you think? Is there anything I've left out that you would love to just share with women that are listening in? Part of your journey, part of what you do, how to gain confidence to continue to move forward, and
Yeah.
how to find you for sure to work with
Yeah.
you.
Well, the how to find you part, I think, hire a coach if you
Mm,
can, if you have the means. And, shameless plug back to you, Terry, because I know you help women all the time try to figure out, what they want to be when they grow up, so to speak. And I think it's
yeah.
so helpful to have somebody that you can talk with who can help you see in yourself what maybe you don't see in yourself. Right.
Mm,
I think that's so important. And that was a big part of my journey as well. I hired Melissa to help me build my business, but through that, it led to other things that I
mm,
was able to do. And so I think it's really critical to at least talk to somebody and have them help you identify what it is you love, what lights you up, what are some things you can do that might get you a little bit of experience in that direction. So that's number one. Number two, again, and we talked about this not to be redundant, but just try something. You said Nordstrom for you was like a way that you got back into. If
yeah.
you love, we talked about this prior to the show. If you love, you know, decorating, go work at Pottery Barn, right? Like, you don't have
Right.
to marry Pottery Barn. You don't have to, like, work there for the rest of your life. You might hate it and in 2 weeks quit, but at least that's information that tells you kind of leads you in the direction that you end up going. So, try things, be open. I was willing and open to try this MLM. And I told
Yeah.
you I was embarrassed a little bit about it. I was fearful about it. I had no experience in it, but I tried it and it has 100% led me to where I am today. If it weren't for
Mm,
that, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. Or maybe it's even like volunteering and just getting out of your home a little bit. If you've been home
right.
with your kids for as long as I had, sometimes your only friends are your mommy friends, which is great, but they're not necessarily going to help you on your professional journey. So, getting out into the community, joining a networking group, even if you don't know what
Mm,
you want to do yet. I joined a couple of different networking groups when I was early on in my wine business career, and I met incredible people that led me to things that I never thought I would do. I ended up leading a networking group that I joined, and I joined it. I was in it for 6 months, and the leader was like, "Hey, do you wanna take over my chapter?" And I was like, "No,
Wow.
anything about this." And she's like, "It's okay. I think you'd be good at it." So she saw something in me that I
Yeah.
hadn't seen in myself. I was super uncomfortable with it. I stepped into this role, and it was wonderful. I
Mm.
created amazing relationships and made friends and gained confidence and was speaking on, on a microphone, once a month in front of a big group of people, which, is something that I hadn't
Wow.
done before. So, yeah, it's just don't be afraid to put yourself out there, to try new things. And it's okay if you quote unquote fail because it's not failure, it's just
Yeah.
feedback.
I love that. Obviously, like, it just is so interesting. There's a common thread for you. Like, even these parts of you that you didn't see, the leadership in you, like, all the way through, that's kind of a common thread. They saw it when you were doing the MLM. Melissa saw it, and where you are now, it's just really cool to see that you, like you said, you didn't even see it yourself. And I think what's really great, I think so often, we think we have to go, like, if we want to start a business, we have to just jump right in and start a business. And I think, kind of like what you were saying, find a coach that can help you and find a mentor. Go work for somebody and have them help you move forward. I didn't even know this. Scott was laughing at me, but I didn't know that Kim Kardashian worked for Paris Hilton.
Oh,
And
didn't
yeah,
either.
I just heard this on I can't remember which podcast they were talking in it might have been on the Diary of a CEO. I can't remember, but she went to work for Paris Hilton and learned how to be famous, how to do all this stuff to promote herself, and I thought, "Wow,
Wow.
I never knew that." So, sometimes we think that we have to just go and dive right into and have it all figured out, but I think having a coach, having a mentor, working for someone else sometimes first leads to this,
Yeah.
you never know. So, and we would have bought your wine back then because we both, Scott and I love wine, and B, the additive free, like, what a fun, who doesn't love wine? Like,
Right.
what a fun business,
It's a
right?
business. Yep. Yeah.
Great for dinner parties and gatherings and all that. That would have been a fun business to grow. So, was there anything else? Did I leave anything else? I didn't mean to cut you off if I did.
No, no, I don't think so. I think we covered it all.
So, what's a fun fact that we haven't talked about? What's a fun fact about yourself? Something we
Yeah.
don't know or something you like to do? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you know this or not. If you had dug really deep in my social media, you may have found it, but, I am a ballroom dancer. So,
No
uh,
way!
certainly not a professional, and I'm in by no means amazing, but it's, something that I love, a hobby of mine that, I've honed over the years, and I've taken lessons, and I've done some competing in our little area and, done some shows, just like recital kinda shows, but yeah, so that's something fun.
How fun. I'm just so fascinated by that. I mean, just in all the gowns and wow. Maybe you
Yeah.
should appear on Dancing with the Stars someday.
I wish. Well, here's another kind of fun fact is that I own one of the Dancing with the Stars dresses, Latin ballroom dresses.
Whose?
It was Lacey Schwimmer. She was one of the coaches.
Casey Schw
She was in the early seasons, and she
Okay.
she danced in this dress that I own with Lance Bass. I think he was a
Yeah.
right. He was in a Backstreet Boy. He's
Yep.
one of the boy bands.
The one with Justin Timberlake, I think. That group. I can't remember
Yeah.
which one that was. Anyway.
Yeah, time ago. But anyway, so she wore this dress, and the designers of those dresses then sell them on consignment after the fact because 'cause they're worn one time. And I was at a dance competition, and the designers are there with all of their consignment dresses, and I just fell in love with this little Latin number, and I told my mom about it, and my sweet mama bought it for my birthday for me. And so
Wow.
I don't have many things that I'm just not a big, like, sentimental person, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of things that hold a lot of meaning to me, but that dress is so meaningful to me. I just love it so much.
Wow. That's so fun. So
Yeah.
how long have you been doing this? Like, how long have you been
Maybe about 12 or 13 years on and off. I took a giant hiatus from it because my daughter is a dancer, so I was doing more of the dance mom things for, like, many, many, many years, and then
Yeah.
I got back to it a few years ago. Right now, I'm not, participating. I've kinda taken a little bit of a break from it as well, but so it's the kinda thing you can come back to, and, a lot of the dancers that I danced with are women in their 60s, even 70s, because
Yeah.
you have to have time and you have to have money to do it. It's a very
Yeah.
expensive hobby,
Yeah.
and so, it does kind of attract sort of the older, man and woman, and so it's something that I'll always have, as I get
So
older.
I'm just so intrigued by this. So what great exercise. And then just the elegance and grace and, the poise. I mean, that just fits. Like looking, I'm like, oh, that fits you. So do you have a specific dance partner or does that change? That's just fun.
Yeah, it's cool. So when you take lessons at a studio, so I was with a Fred Astaire, um,
Okay.
and your teacher becomes your partner. So it's called pro-am. So they're the pro and I'm the amateur. And so they teach you, and then when you go to competitions or performances, they're your partner. And
Ah,
they're amazing, especially the studio that I'm with now. The men are all from, Ukraine or Moldova, Russia. So they have been dancing since they were 2 years old and
wow.
strict, like, a lady with a stick, kinda mean.
Yeah.
But they're amazing. And they are just all about the form around it, and, it's just the history, there's so much history behind it. It's just a beautiful expression, and you're right, it's
Yeah.
exercise, it's also creative.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. It's
Okay,
like
now I'm gonna go look through your social media. Do you post pictures or dance? It's just so fun. What a fun fact.
I'll send you a picture later so you don't have to.
Please, 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 please. Oh, that's just amazing.
It's a lot of
I I love dancing, and I grew up in a really small town in Washington State, and I always, I did all the cheerleading thing, all the things, but I wanted to dance, but we lived, about an hour and a half away from a big city, and so I couldn't do that, and I don't know, I just am intrigued by all of that. It's just wonderful. So,
Yeah,
wow.
I did too, and
That's
we just couldn't afford it. I grew up in, a single parent household. My mom worked her butt off, and we just didn't have the luxury of doing the extras like that. So I feel so grateful that I was able to give that to my daughter for one, and that
oh,
I'm able to do it for myself as well. It's such a
wow.
gift and a blessing.
And what a fun way for us to end this because I think for any woman listening in, whether you want to start a business, whether you want to write a book or do a podcast or dance, like, go do
Right.
it. Go do it.
It's a great parting message. It's never too late. It's never too
Mm.
late. There's a woman who I went to high school with, and you're gonna laugh. She does roller derby as her hobby. She's 52 years old, and that's her hobby. And she
Isn't
started, in her 40s. It's not something she grew up doing. Isn't that crazy?
I love it because I think like I just did this post today about the things that we our dreams and things that we put up on the shelf, they kind of get dusty and we forget about them. And then all of a sudden, I think we hit this kind of life and we're like, huh, we remember that. We pull it down off the shelf, dust it off. And when we open up, I say that treasure chest, that's what for me, it was like opening up this treasure chest and allowing ourselves to experience life like just like this, like going and trying the dancing, doing the roller derby. For me, it was doing dressage lessons on the I've always loved horse riding, and so that's
Cool.
like dancing on a horse, right? So, allow yourself to experience these things, experience life. I think this midlife is just such a great time to take care of yourself, to lean into those things that maybe you didn't have time to do before and go try it, right?
Right, right. I
So
love it.
fun. All right, so before we end, this has been awesome. This has been such a fun interview and conversation. So
So
for
fun.
those that need help, woohoo, that need help with brand identity, need someone to really help them figure out to promote themselves online. How do we find you? Where do we
Yeah.
find you?
So LinkedIn is the best place to start, and it's
Perfect.
just Brooke Moll with an E, Brookemoll. Look me up and connect and, send me a DM and we can chat.
Perfect. I'll put all that here. I'll put your LinkedIn link in the show notes so people can just click on it and connect with you. And I think you also do a consultation. I call it a consultation. That's not the right
Yeah,
word, but so you'll do a quick call if someone's interested to find out if it'd be a good fit. You offer
absolutely.
that as well.
Mhm,
Okay, great.
absolutely. Yep.
Well, this has been amazing. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Any parting words that you want, any words of wisdom or quote or anything you'd like to say?
Oh, well, first, thank you, Terry. This has just been so much fun. I think we have so much in common, and I can't wait to explore more. I mean, there's just like so many little tidbits that have come out in this conversation. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're so much alike.
We
So I
are.
love, so thank you for that. And no, I think that again, the common thread throughout this whole conversation is it's never too late. You're made for more. There's
Mm,
something inside of you that is I don't know, that it's just we all have a meaning and a purpose, and
mm.
unless we kinda get out there and experiment with some things, we might not find it, and so do it. It's never too late, and, you'll just never know where you might end up.
Awesome. And I hope we get to see you in Miami in October.
Oh,
We
yeah.
might get to meet in person.
Yes, I'm so
So
excited.
good. Well, thank you. Thank you for being a blessing to Scott and I. You are amazing at what you do. And I'm just so grateful our paths have crossed. And I'm so grateful for this new community. I was just literally telling Scott that yesterday, what a gift it's been. And you have been a blessing. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Likewise. Of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you have a few key takeaways that you can apply to your life. And if you don't mind, take a few moments and leave a review that lets other women know that we're here making a difference in your life and theirs as well. Until we meet again, God bless.